I guess let's get to it. Today I'm going to talk about why men in the modern world, well, aside from the fact that men have been so severely conditioned, which is something I keep touching upon because it's something that's gravely wounding to me. I want to talk about why men set their standards so low and how do the Western female, especially the modern female, but let's just focus on the Western female, how does she benefit from this, right? And as I have done often, I'm going to start with a quick story, though I'm going to change things up a little. Basically, I knew a guy. He was an acquaintance. That's all he was. And that ceased to exist as well. And the reason why is because of this story. He ended up in a relationship with a girl who I'm dead serious when I tell you, he told me himself. I asked her. So I met the girl once. I asked him, seems like she's chemically off in some way. Like mentally, there's something out there that's missing. And after, a few drinks, this and that, and he told me, he's like, yeah, she has a double chromosome 17. She has double of that. And because of that, she has a few mental issues, right? So obviously, that was the first time. And I did end up seeing this girl two more times after that with him, of course. And the reason why, even though I call him an acquaintance, even though like I met him a few times, is because this was us catching up. He was a guy I knew from high school. We were never tight, we were never close, but we were now we're now spitting in the same job circuits, job market, same profession. And that was the common denominator between us. So I wanted to learn some stuff from him, and he wanted to learn some stuff from me. And yeah, and basically by second and the third meeting I was able to, and this is something I'm really good at. I am really good at observing, studying, and understanding people, human psychology, what their philosophy is, how they operate, wants, needs, yada yada, and all that. Something that I profoundly dedicated my life to, one of the many things. But anyway, so he spilled the beans to me about a lot of things. When the alcohol gets flowing, and especially when the partner is not there. He occasionally would give me a phone call, late night drunk, or when we're in person, when she wasn't around, when she would leave the room or the area for a little while. And the stories this guy would tell me is jaw dropping. And yeah, obviously this is anecdotal. This is like I'm speaking about. It's not my personal experience, but it's something that I come across. But again, I am an astute student of culture, civilization, the zeitgeist, and I do have a massive network of people that I also engage with these type of conversations, whether if it's younger Gen Z kids, millennials, Gen Xers, even boomers, right? This is something that I take pride in, the fact that I can blend into all types of circles with all types of people from all walks of life. And the stories he would tell me would be absolutely jaw dropping. And obviously, to keep it short, this girl, this double chromosome girl, the narcissism, the level of entitlement, you would think it's just like the fat chicks, right? You would back in the day. So from what I heard, I guess pre social media, fat women in order to compensate, they had to be nice. It's like the equivalent of short guys, being like really bulky and big in order to compensate, right? And yeah, so fat girls would be nice. And you would think this girl would be in that category in the sense that she would be a nice human being because she understands. She's smart enough to understand she is not normal, that she suffers from deficiencies, but she's not smart enough to know how to fix it, which is the tragedy of it all, right? And to be honest with you guys, I blatantly told her by the third meeting, I feel bad for you because I see that you know what's wrong with you. I pointed out to you, and I'm not the first one. I won't be the last, but I don't think you will ever know what it's going to require to fix it because that's just something innate now. Like it's chemical, it's genetics, and yeah, like basically, this woman would cut her stomach, uh, and I mean severely cut her stomach, to a point where it would bleed it out all the way to the floor, and like several. I've encountered many women in my life who, it's usually the arms or the thighs, but I've never seen one that would do her stomach. That was a new one to me. So that's kind of mind blowing, right? And these are the kind of cuts that's been accumulating for years. So you can imagine if she were to lift up her shirt, or if this woman goes to the beach or something like that, it would be a sight to see, right? On top of that, compulsive liar. But apparently, she has some sort of conscience, from what I understand. And this is, I got it out of my that this guy right here. I asked him, like, when you press on her or something, like, do you have to press for a day or two, or like at some point you drop it, but she comes clean? He's like, oh, she comes clean. I'm like, okay, that's good at the very least. Even I guess, what do you want me to say? Anyway, so this individual, right? This woman never got to live in her 20s, sore loser. Um, and mind you, when I'm telling you, like, please don't make it out to be the fact that I'm talking about a person who is a cripple in the sense of the word, who is a special needs student. Again, like I said, borderline, almost there. This person, in my opinion, she'll definitely breed, but I think an element of eugenics should need to come into play here. But that's not up to me to decide, obviously. So that's that. That's all I can say. But the fact that this woman, who is so extremely condescending, narcissistic, demanding, and this acquaintance of mine, he is actually, I mean, if you want to use the terminology to keep it short, his sexual market value is higher than her, much higher than her. He's a decently tall guy, really nice hair. He's a aesthetically appealing guy for the most part. But this girl, there's absolutely nothing there. Whether if it's her looks, her height, which honestly for a woman obviously is not a big thing, but still, her mannerisms, her femininity, there is zero, absolutely nothing there, and especially the personality. But yet here he is, right? Here he is catering to this woman, crying after her, while at the same time sobbing his eyes out for all the things that she's deficient in, the things that she doesn't do, that she doesn't understand. This woman and him, they're both in their 30s. I've told them, my friend, listen, if a person is in their 30s and they're sitting there and you have to explain something 10 times, and these things they should have fundamentally picked up in their 20s, right? There is no time for bullshit. There is no more time for games anymore. There's no time for trial period. You have to, once a person is in their 30s, the world is much more cruel to them, man or woman. Obviously, much more cruel so to men, but also to women, right? Because now there's a lot more expectations of you. You're a full-fledged grown adult. You don't have time to fuck around. You know, you either have the fundamentals figured out, you put a lot of the shit from your past behind you, and you grew as an adult, or you will be tossed to the roadside as a roadkill. That's how it is. And this girl's definitely the latter. And I feel for this man. He's sobbing his eyes out while at the same time complaining about her. I ask, what have we become, especially in the modern Western world, for us guys to lower our standards to such a level where you know we're entertaining these types of women? Have we really become this desperate? Have we really become? Uh, is it the loneliness? Is it the fear of loneliness? Are we really that afraid to be alone with our own thoughts? Like, what is it that will become? Obviously, the known factors are, where the modern man is extremely feminized. It comes with that's a whole bundle package that comes with its own, many many characteristics. Modern man is struggling financially. The modern man doesn't have many friends. The modern man is very, desensitized to a lot of things, and go on and go on. But how have we reduced to such a level where we are literally entertaining a woman that, again, if she had a nice personality, like, wow, she's so feminine, she's so kind, she has a brilliant ability for discernment. You'll be like, okay, fuck the looks, okay, wow, fuck the double chromosome too. But no, again, it's not there. Nothing. There's nothing there. It's fucking barren wasteland. So how what have we become? How I wonder men like this when they go home or when they stand in front of any type of mirror or anytime they see their reflection, even in the hell, even in their phone camera, how do they look at themselves and say like, "This is me. This is how I do it. This is who I am with." Again, this comes back to something I always say too. It's like copium, right? We have all Gen Z and especially millennials, right? We have all mastered. We are the gods of copium now. You know, if there's one medication that never needs to get produced pharmaceutically because we all have it internally now, that would be it, copium, right? It is the most saddest, most tragic thing I have ever seen. I can't even put it in words. And I've asked this guy also myself the fact that how do your actual friends, your close circle of friends, how do they view you? Do they look at you like you know? And I again, I'm the kind of guy that gets straight down to it, and sometimes it hurts. Sometimes, a lot of times, it's very enlightening for them. But I asked them, "Have you noticed they lost respect to you? You noticed they're treating you differently?" And he took a moment, he thought about it, and again, there's alcohol flowing, so you know. The filters are off in the moment. He said, "Yeah, we don't hang out as much anymore. They treat me differently. I get ignored in group chats whenever I make a comment or I send something." Um, and yeah, he told me a few other stories, but I'm gonna leave those out. Very embarrassing, sobbing his eyes out. New Year's night, because this girl told him that um, I'm gonna break up with you because he was the first one drunk, the only one drunk. So the dilemma here is the fact that when a woman is weak, fragile, and to put it bluntly, pathetic, right? She wants a man who is the opposite of her. It's for a woman. It's part of hypergamy, right? It just comes with the territory. Um, and he's not that guy. Like I said, aesthetically pleasing, but a lot of things are lacking. And I guess, and the thing these things are lacking is not because again he has genetic deficiencies or nothing. It's because he's been conditioned. He's been conditioned by his mom and dad. He told me some stories. He's been definitely conditioned by society to become the bare minimum and to expect the bare minimum. Isn't that the saddest fucking thing for a man today? Isn't that the saddest thing for a man always? I mean, why? We have to become better than this. If we're the gatekeepers for relationships, for marriage and whatnot, then we definitely are also the gatekeepers for whom we select. Yes, they say women are nature's own eugenicist. I completely agree. You know, they select, again, it's part of hypergamy, right? They do select for features. That's why, tall, strong, handsome, uh, whether consciously or subconsciously, these women want to take those genetics and pass it on to their kids. So their kids have a higher chance of reproduction as well. I mean, there's nothing there you can blame. You got to accept that, right? But at the same time, so are we. We definitely should be much more of eugenicists than, and I'm definitely 100% sure our ancestors were. And I'm not talking about obviously cultures and civilizations that practice, predominantly arranged marriages. I'm talking about the ones where, again, you have to earn the admiration of women or females, plural, right? So, but the us men today, we are so pathetic. We are so lazy. We are so just taken back from all of it that we honestly will settle for anything as long as I don't know she checks off one box out of 10. We're like, okay, I'll go with it. How is that not the saddest thing? Why are we doing this, my friends? Hmm? And again, this is a conversation I have with a lot of women. I always tell women, so you want men to be chivalrous, honorable, and respectful, and yada yada yada, right? Right? Okay. Well, if you're since you're the gatekeepers for sex, right? If you were to keep your legs closed and demand a much higher level, of attributes from men, I promise you, most men, if not all of them, they will rise to the occasion. Why? Because you have something they want badly, very desperately. Biology, right? Nature. Well, the same thing goes for us. If we want these women to become feminine, honorable, respectable, competent, then we have to be the ones to select for those traits too. We cannot simply say she checks one box out of 10 Therefore I'm happy, and lie to ourselves, like, lie to ourselves blatantly, thinking that we're happy. We're not happy. I don't see this guy as happy, to be honest. In all my life, other than myself, and I find myself very lucky. Obviously, it took me a long time to find my partner, um, trial and error, but I'm happy. But who knows? Like, we can always play it. We only play the card we have at our hand today. Who knows what's gonna happen tomorrow? So knock on wood. Hopefully it stays that way for me. But other than myself, I've only seen truly one other couple, and obviously older couple, boomers, that they had that textbook definition of a beautiful marriage, and I've knew these people in and out. So there's no hiding it. I've seen them when they were at their worst, and I've seen them when they were at their best, which was much more often than not. How, like, what is it about us guys today that, obviously the loneliness plays a huge element here? Like, I mean, I get it. That's a fear I have too. I'm not ashamed to admit it. But at the same time, there is a line that needs to be drawn. You know, we do need to sit there and say, "Hey, man, like, where's my self-respect? Where do I draw the line for my self-respect? Where do I draw the line with saying, like, this is not something I will accept and tolerate?" And again, I bring this up because this same acquaintance, again, once in a blue moon, he'll reach out to me just to, I guess, just bounce off his feelings and his, heartaches, and because he knows I understand. And again, he told me the other day, like, I'm thinking about breaking up with her, and hallelujah, right? Did he actually end up going through with it? No, he didn't. He one more time, copium. This is a man in his 30s. Zero, absolute lack of pragmatism whatsoever, which is something, a huge fault in us men today. We're not pragmatic. We are not pragmatic, not at all. That's been completely conditioned out of us. That needs to change. It comes back to me, bullshits his way through, and then guess, voila, what do you know? He's still with the same girl. Nothing's changed. My friends, this needs to stop. Again, the lesson here is one thing. If you want better quality woman out there, you know, we have to think as a collective, because we can be both. We can be both individualistic and collective, right? And as a collective, we have to think about it in the sense that if we want better, as a collective, we have to think better. We have to do better. We have to come together and say, we will not settle for these qualities from females and women. If there's any watching, please, same thing for you. What I said earlier. You want better quality men, chivalrous, honorable, then set the bar higher. And not what you're, bullshit about, take me on expensive dates, this whole superficial, it's all based on fiscal, like money. Cut the shit. Cut the fucking shit. I mean, I know hypergamy, a lot of you are completely whacked out of your fucking minds, especially with social media. Everybody's seen the story about Lamine Yamal's girlfriend, right? The new one. 5-year relationship. Says, I love you to the last dude. Gets a, DM from Lamal. And, she's gone. Gone in 60 seconds, right? How pathetic, how sad is that? No honor whatsoever. Zero shame, zero honor. And again, that's the thing too, right? We, us men, we were the guardrail, the gatekeepers for shame as well. We let that erode. That needs to come back in balance. It always has to be in balance. Anyway, I don't want to rabble on too much. This is just some of my views and thoughts. Hope you guys enjoy it, and yeah, please enjoy, comment, subscribe. Just gotta keep repeating that, I guess. And yeah, that's it. Take care.